It's back to the basics on advice, and we're joined again by CEO Ryan Townend. Looking good, my friend.
Thank you.
Let's jump right to it. We're not going to focus so much on the vice for today, but really want to focus on the ad. What makes a good ad?
All right. Well, a great ad is a great story. So what you really want to do is figure out how to best tell that story. So there's a lot of ways to make sure that that happens properly from a scientific point of view when it comes to marketing.
And like a good story, there we have it. The who, the what, the where, and the why.
Exactly. So we need to make sure that we get across all the key points that you need to articulate to your target audience in this ad in the most succinct and compelling manner that you can come up with.
Okay, and succinct is a very, very important term to be using here.
Yes, absolutely. What you have to first of all figure out is what is your story that you're going to tell in this ad, and then you have to figure out how you're going to tell that story. So what media are you going to use? So whether it's going to be outdoor advertising, whether it's going to be a magazine or digital ads, you need to craft your mix. And what you find is the most compelling stories and the most compelling ad campaigns have a nice layering. So you'll see it on TV, on a TV commercial, then you'll drive down the street and you'll see it on a billboard, and then it should pop up in your email. At the end of the day, you're going to be like, I remember that ad. It's hit me in a different variety of ways.
And how important is that kind of repetition?
It's very, very key. There's so many different media options out there today. Back in the day, what did we have? TV, radio, print, you know, maybe outdoor. Think about all the different ways advertisers are reaching you today, and digital is really, really a big part of that.
And so a good example of repetition might be how my mouth waters when I see the golden arches.
Exactly. See, they've planted that seed for you.
Gross. Well done, McDonald's. Well played. What do I need to know next?
Well, what you have to figure out is what part of the story you're going to tell in the different media. So if you think about it, a magazine is going to give you the opportunity to read a whole bunch of copy, where if you see a billboard, there's only going to be a few seconds to actually capture the person's attention and for them to actually read it.
Yeah, you don't want to put a magazine article on a billboard. I would imagine that's not a good thing to do.
It's kind of common sense, but you have to think that, like with a billboard, you want to be able to read the key message twice in like 4 seconds.
Okay.
So that's very little copy and a very dramatic image.
Is that intense to be able to pull that off properly?
It is. So when you craft your story, you have to think, how are you going to articulate it through the different medias that you need to tell it in? So it's not only coming up with the story in the media, it's then how do you actually convey that message through those medias?
And then it's also different strokes for different folks, I would imagine, both with regards to the business and the audience you're trying to obtain through which forms of media you use, yeah?
Absolutely. Well, what you find too is that you have to put the information in an order of priority. You can't have everything screaming at you. You need to figure out what's the most primary message that you want people to do, and then you stack your messaging accordingly.
And then, and this is an important point, we have that board up right there with the trophy on it. It's referred to as the hierarchy. Tell me what that would symbolize.
Yeah, so basically what it is different media will require different key parts of information to be the primary key focus. So for example, it might be a telephone number, it might be the company's name, or the call to action. So again, if you put everything screaming out, nothing becomes important. You have to figure out what's the key part that you want somebody to focus in on and make that, you know, primary spot number one.
And that's a specialty of William Joseph.
It's a specialty, I tell you. It is.
How do they get in touch with you?
WilliamJoseph.com is our website, and people can read about this topic on our blog, plus a whole bunch of other topics that we have on marketing, advertising, and communications.
Ryan Townend, it's always great to chat with you. I leave with my brain a little fuzzy because I learned stuff.
All right, we'll go look at the ad campaigns out in the world today.
My mouth is already watering for a Big Mac, sir.
Perfect.